It's less than it was when I was there 6 years ago. Over 40% of the stores are losing money.
Wow.
We won ASCI, the highest quality in the pizza category, 18 out of 19 years. They now are down with Little Caesars. So the thing has really got away from them.
I hate Little Caesars, so that's tough.
But
I hate Little Caesars. That's really tough. There is former CEO and founder of Papa John's. Apparently, I was saying his name wrong. John Schnatter?
Yeah, it's John Schnatter. You have to remember, JR, that it's a hard N, just like the word he used that got himself into a lot of trouble.
We're definitely gonna go to that. That's for damn sure. So there he is again at CPAC, Texas. He's complaining that his pizzas, ever since he left, have now been downgraded to that Little Caesars status, and he just can't take it. First of all, let's pause there for a second. Ain't nothing wrong with Little Caesars, John. First of all. But we'll get to that later. He also revealed that there's a secret ingredient that was in his Papa John's pizza that apparently made it so damn good. Let's get into, before we get into that though, here's what he did say that Dan was mentioning there. Chairman of Papa John's resigns, this is in 2018, resigns after a report that he used a racial slur. John Schnatter, I think, admitted that he used the slur in a conference call in May of that year. Let's go to some more details from that. Schnatter used the N-word in a call between Papa John's executives and marketing agency Laundry Service, is what Forbes reported. Schnatter acknowledged using the slur and apologized, but that was not enough for him to keep his position. But besides all that, his secret sauce that he's talking about and the success that came around Papa John's, which actually that secret sauce was the garlic butter, because that's one of the first places that was regularly using that and giving it to everyone in their pizzas. That was actually the thing. But he's revealing more about his resignation and the things that happened around that. He's talking more at CPAC. Let's watch a little more.
I got so many people I love that are franchisees, and they really did well during COVID, but they've lost their way.
That makes sense,
and if you don't have that quality, you don't have that service, and you don't have that culture, you're asking for a bad day at the office.
That's rough. I wanted to be successful so you can continue to get those checks, but at the same time, I mean, if they're losing the policies that you instated, did you experience as a businessman conservative policies financially? Did they help you? Is that kind of how you reached success?
We built the whole company on conservative values. That's what I'm saying. The conservative ideology has two of the most critical attributes: truth and God, truth and If you run your life on principles and you're truthful and factual, and you have win-win mutual respect and you're thoughtful and you're considerate, you're going to win.
If you run your life on truth, values, God, conservative principles and values, customer service, he went through multiple things, then you're gonna win. Says the guy who's complaining that he lost his company because he followed through on conservative values, truth, God, customer service, N-word, maybe those types of things. So more for what that happened from the Huffington Post. A sweat-laden Schnatter told Kentucky's WDRB TV that a day of reckoning would arrive after board members stole the company from him. Schnatter also suggested that he had 40 pizzas in 30 days during this bizarre interview. He later weighed in on the potential food feat and said that he wasn't referring to eating the pizzas. He's just talking about taking a bite of a pizza. I think that was the whole thing with that. He's tested them ever since and all that. I don't know. First off, I guess on the quality of the pizza, which I think is the smallest point here, and maybe I need to take a general poll. People have been complaining about Papa John's since before he left. People who didn't like Papa John's didn't like Papa John's. I'm not sure why the narrative is around, it was the #1 pizza place ever. And yeah, many people liked it again for that garlic butter, but it was the #1 ever, now everybody hates it. I've had Papa John's before and after he was involved, and it tastes absolutely the same. I'm not sure if those conservative values is the taste that he's talking about, or only conservatives bought his pizzas. That's the thought process, but definitely he wants his company back, despite what he was talking about. Now, details of the N-word thing, he was mad and he was talking with that marketing company and he was complaining about KFC. And that's when he mentioned the N-word and he was attributing that to them in some kind of way. And then later apologized and said, in no way should this be a part of our general discourse and racism. You said it, but it shouldn't be part of our general discourse. But it's still conservative values and trust in God and customer service. I don't know. I get he misses his company and his work, but at least makes some sense. Or, by the way, he's doing fine. Dude's not broke. What are y'all's thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you put your life into a brand that has and continues to have your name and it completely, in his opinion, it is now completely like terrible. The pizza's awful. The franchises are all failing. Like that really just speaks to how terrible of a business person you were, that like the second that you leave a national company that it like can't survive. Obviously, there's probably no difference now between the flavor of the pizza. It's just such a shallow defense. Like it's basically he's insulting himself by saying that this, it used to be the best and then I left and now it's terrible. It doesn't really speak well to your business practices. And yeah, it's interesting when he's asked about conservative policies, you can kind of see the reporter is sort of, I think she means like, yeah, what like hard work, pulling like whatever, those BS conservative values. But he just says, what does he say? He says God, and it's like, okay, why don't we actually talk about the fact how I was looking this up a little earlier, like I think his dad owned a restaurant when he was young and he was able to sell pizzas out of it. So, you start with a little leg up. It's a lot easier to become a successful business owner. And I'm sure we all know that had he been CEO during the pandemic, he would have taken, all the PPP loans he possibly could. So it's like these vague conservative values, but when it really comes down for it, I'm sure he took advantage of every corporate deal that he possibly could. But of course, he's never gonna mention those types of things.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think maybe the tell there with the accidental mask off moment is when he said, "Oh, we run our business off of conservative values." Because for my entire lifetime, both the major moment of my lifetime before John Schnatter said the N-word and afterwards. There are these two major moments. Before, after, no. But like this entire time, conservatism as like a value has been nothing but branding. It's whoever's talking about that or invoking conservative values in any given situation, it's whatever they mean. And that's cool as a branding, that's cool, like you're a pizza, you're a marketing guy. But in reality, I think you need to practice what you preach when it comes to values in any kind of context. What John Schnatter was preaching wasn't just the N-word in that context, but it was like a number of different times where he had shown that his true values were bigotry, like separating himself away from the poorer class. I want to say that John Schnatter is the guy who had the moat in front of his house, like the Papa John's like castle and everything with the drawbridge. Like this is a very special kind of guy, a totally normal CEO type guy, like many of these like larger execs are. And ultimately, I like that point, Caroline, because a good sign of running a good business is when you're gone and the people you've hired and worked through there are able to keep things running as well, if not better, than when you leave it. And so if you're saying that, oh wow, look at how poor things are running the second I'm gone, that is, once again, an accidental tell. I'm not sure if John Schnatter knows about this. It's telling more about you than it's telling about the employees you're trying to trash.
Yeah, there's an outside chance that you left a racist stain on the company when you left, and it wasn't your conservatism and your values that poisoned once it left. It was you being a racist, and then people said, oh yeah, I remember that guy from Papa John's was a racist. And then they think, I don't really want to eat Papa John's, even after he's gone. That's a possibility as well. And also that he poisoned that bottom line when he was fighting with the NFL because he was mad about his bottom line when players were protesting around the time that Kaepernick was doing it and a few others joined him. He was mad about how the NFL was allowing that to happen. So they cut ties with him as well. A couple of bad business decisions, but he's gonna blame everyone else. Personal responsibility and all that stuff.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.